Anchorage police say a man who tried to murder his ex-wife and is a suspect in the death of his former father-in-law is now dead.
Yeah, the body of 61-year-old Mathew Becker of Arizona was discovered Sunday morning in the woods in Eagle River. Police have not said how he died. According to charging documents, Becker turned up at his ex-wife's hair salon on Cordova Street Saturday morning. She told police he shot at her several times while she ran for her life. Police believe Becker fled the scene and went directly to the Airport Heights home that his ex-wife shared with her elderly father. Police Chief Sean Case said it's believed Becker walked to the back of the home and shot 87-year-old Romaine Clark through a window. He says some friends who had arrived to go on an outing with Clark found his body inside of the home.
They were hailed by friends that were waiting to meet up with the victim, and they went inside the residence because he hadn't come out yet and they were waiting for him, and they discovered the body, and then they notified us.
Alaska's news source spoke with Becker's brother today. He tells us Becker owned a comedy club in Bisbee, Arizona, where he moved after his divorce. He also told us his brother had recently been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And today is March 16th. If you're expecting spring to show up soon, we're hearing it's been delayed this year.
Oh, it has? Oh, no. Melissa, well, you're just the messenger, right? But you have the news. You got to let us know. It doesn't sound like winter is ending anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Yeah, you look outside, looks like winter. 7-day forecast looks like winter, and we're seeing varying conditions across the state that are all quite winter-like. 19 degrees in Anchorage and in Palmer. We've got the blue sky. You can't take that away this week. One below, though, in Fairbanks. 32 degrees now in Juneau, where more snow is on the way tonight. And if you've been in South Central, you know the wind has been something to deal with today. We do still have that high wind warning in effect for Palmer, Wasilla. Wind advisories for Kenai, Seward. That is for continued gusts between 50 and 55 miles per hour tonight into tomorrow morning. Now, we are seeing that snow into southeast, and later this week, an early heads up, the wind is on the way for western Alaska. Snow and blowing snow will be a concern starting Wednesday, continuing into Friday. And right now, those temperatures are pretty cold across the state. 20 below in Dead Horse, 18 in Cold Bay. The one warmer spot is in the southern portions of southeast, 39 degrees in Ketchikan, where that rain is still coming down. Now, overnight tonight in Anchorage, temperatures getting close to zero again. We will see some cloud cover pushing in during the day tomorrow, with high temperatures back into those mid-teens. One for the high temperature in Fairbanks, holding on to the sunshine. Snow showers on the way for Juneau. New winter weather advisories are in effect, and I'll have the details on that snow, how much more you should expect coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. And just so you know, however cold it is wherever you are, it's about 5 degrees colder in the Alaska's News Source studio. Very chilly, very chilly. Spring is coming, though, folks, I promise. Travelers in Alaska feeling the effects of that government shutdown, the partial government shutdown, resulting in TSA officers working with no pay. It's caused resignations, also call-outs affecting wait times all across the country.
We've got our Joe Allgood joining us live now from Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport with a look at how things are going there. Joe.
Yeah, the security lines aren't too long here in Anchorage, but across the country, the effects of that partial government shutdown are piling up. And for Alaskans, who you and I both know already travel more than most to get home, that could mean they might be delayed even further. TSA agents missed out on their paycheck for the first time during this shutdown last Friday. That's caused more than 300 of them to quit across the country, according to CBS News. Call-out rates for the remaining agents have more than doubled, and this is on top of an already busy spring break travel season. Some of America's busiest airports, like Atlanta, have notified the public of extended wait times at security. And in New Orleans, airport staff said flyers could be waiting in line for up to 2 hours. So if you are traveling or coming home back to Anchorage, I would recommend that you want to give enough time for those delays. 2 hours here in Anchorage should do the trick if you're traveling domestically, but elsewhere, you might need 3, 4, even 5 hours in some cases. John, Augusta.
Thanks so much, Joe. We'll keep an eye on that story. And transitioning now, there is a new leader of the Tanana Chiefs Conference. Sharon Hildebrand was selected as the new chief and chairman after elections at last week's annual convention.
All right. 42 delegates from tribes all across the state cast their ballots. With the new position, Hildebrand takes over from Brian Ridley, who served in the role since 2022. She will represent members of the TCC on a regional, state, also a national level.
We can create a better company, tribal organization, consortium for you. This is about each of you, the delegates, the chiefs, second chiefs, presidents in this room. We can create change going forward for the better.
Hildebrand is from the city of Nulato near the Yukon River. She will now serve a 3-year term that will end in 2029. The Iditarod is nearing its end as mushers get closer to the finish line in Nome, but there's still plenty of time to see some of those standing shakeups.
How about this? The first ever expedition musher, Shell Ruka. He finished his journey this afternoon. Here's the moment the Norwegian billionaire made it to Nome.
And here they come. Our inaugural expedition musher, Kjell Ruka.
The new expedition class is a non-competitive designation. The mushers run alongside their traditional Iditarod competitors, but their finish does not affect the official Iditarod finishes. Expedition mushers can also do things like get outside assistance, swap out their dogs, and take flexible rest periods.
The mushing family is quite unique. I'm kind of taken back by the commitment that is given by the mushers, the family, and what have you. And it's nice to see, to be a small part of it.
2 other exhibition mushers ended their run. Thomas Warner stopped his weekend in Unalakleet after the trail committee says some of his dogs were showing signs of kennel cough. Steve Curtis also ended in McGrath.
All right, as for the main race, White Mountain Checkpoint marks that final stretch for Iditarod. It's one of the last times that teams can make a few adjustments for that final push.
We've got Georgina Fernandez there with a look at what's going on right now.
Well, we just arrived to White Mountain this morning, but volunteers have been here since last night, preparing to welcome teams to one of their final checkpoints on the Iditarod Trail. Nestled on Fish River, it's the calm before the storm.
Everyone is so excited. We know we should sleep because we're not going to get a lot of sleep for the rest of this week, but everyone is so excited to see the first teams come in.
On the river, these volunteers are in the middle of their own race, placing the final touches at this checkpoint on Monday. Before teams hit mile point 898, White Mountain, one of the final checkpoints before the last stretch to Nome.
They're so close. I can't imagine the mental game of being so close and then still having to keep it together through the blowhole and the last of the mountains along the coast. They're so close, but still so much to go through.
Volunteers stacking straw for bedding and drilling holes on the ice to make sure water is ready upon arrival. It's here where teams will spend their last mandatory 8-hour rest before the 55-mile stretch to safety.
It's really magical to see.
An intimate experience for volunteers.
Kind of just listen to what they have to say, especially the mushers that talk among themselves and different techniques that they use as far as racing.
As they now wait.
It's always nice to see the first one come through.
For the storm to roll in. And while resting at this checkpoint, this is where mushers and their dogs could face drug testing. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
All right, and once a year, a number of communities really rally together, welcoming those Iditarod mushers and those beautiful dog teams.
Yeah, and our Jordan Rodenberger gives us an inside look at the work and the excitement surrounding one of those Iditarod checkpoints when their favorite mushers come to town.
There are more than 20 checkpoints along the Iditarod Trail, and while they may vary in resources available, all are a welcoming sight, as a checkpoint is not just a place to replenish your supplies, but your spirit as well, on full display at the first checkpoint along the western Alaska coast. The checker is the first person a musher and dog team sees when approaching an Iditarod checkpoint.
Hey, Ryan. Good to see you.
In Unalakleet, that role belongs to resident Kermit Ivanoff Jr.
How many dogs you got? 12.
Who braves the elements on the western Alaska coast.
Like kind of cold and like kind of windy.
Year over year.
Like every year, it haven't changed.
Sheltered from the cold inside the warm checkpoint buildings are warm hearts, with local volunteers flipping hundreds of pancakes per day.
We have fun greeting them here and feeding them and hearing stories, and every year is fun. So.
And when another team trots in, the youth is there to witness.
Look at his tail.
As past generations relive the moments.
We used to go down there when we were a little bit older than them and go to the Browns Lodge and be able to get a hot cocoa and some fries and something.
Where a quick interaction with your favorite musher can create a lifelong memory.
Can I get a picture with him? Yeah. He's your musher, so he wanted a picture.
Man,
go ahead, go buy him.
Gloves.
Go ahead, go buy him.
I gotta get some gloves like that. Where do you get those?
A bright spot along what can be a long, dark trail for mushers.
Amazing communities and amazing local people, and that they're so kind to come out and support, you know. It's over. It makes me want to tear up, you know.
And there are only just a few more of these checkpoints before the ultimate goal of Nome, where we will have coverage at the finish line. Jordan Rodenberger, Alaska's news source.
Get goosebumps watching stories like that. So
sweet.
cool. Okay, here's a live look at the GPS tracking right now. Getting closer and closer. Still very dangerous. A lot to do. So people keeping a close eye on the top of the standings. Anything can still happen. Jesse Holmes, though, is in the lead currently.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.